Guess what everyone, I bought a new tent. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm just out for a quick overnight again. I'm in Loch Lomond National Park, in case you didn't recognise it, on a hill I've been on before. But the most important point is I've got a new tent to try, so I'm going to go over here, try and find a pitch and get this thing up before darkness. We've got half an hour before sunset, it's just after 4. So let's see how easy it is to deal with this thing and how good it is or how bad it is. Very nicely. .85 kilograms, one person to two person actually, if you're very comfortable with your partner. And it's basically an assault tent plus, so a wee bit more flexible than the assault tents I've had in the past, I hope. But interestingly, it's not actually a Slingfin tent. So it features two really chunky DAC NSL, I think it is, I'll check for you, poles, but they're 9.3mm thick. So actually a wider, more strong diameter than the Hilleberg, I believe, which is obviously a kind of rival to this one. The tent actually comes in 3 parts, effectively. You've got an inner and outer fly sheet, important for condensation control, and then you've got a web truss, basically a pole sleeve that's connected to both the outer and the inner, but actually is separate in its own right. Almost like a skeleton, an exoskeleton meets an inner skeleton. I've tied it off to my pack just in case when I try and put this up, because it's quite large, so it produces quite a lot of wind force. As you can see, it's kind of like the traditional assault tent dome, 2 crossover poles, but it has a wee trick up its sleeve. It's got 2 side vestibule cum wings, for want of a better description, which I'll show you now. So there's a toggle in the centre point up here. You undo that and you then have a pop out wing cum vestibule. Quite bizarre, but interesting. And again, same on the other side. So the toggle and ring. You can picture it like this if you're on tight ledges for mountaineering, kind of on dugout snow or whatever. But for general backpacking and for a bit more room and storage, especially if there's 2 of you, I think you'd probably want to use these. And tonight I will, we'll just see how it goes. There we go. There we go. I'll just let the silver nylon relax now and then I'll tighten it up. I've actually noticed I'm missing a peg. I forgot to pick one up in the garden. It's not essential, it's just for the front door, just for some extra security if the wind packs. But I don't think I'll need it. you just got these tensioners on both the web truss underneath. There's one here, so you can tension it up over the pole sleeve, and then you've got another one on the outside of the fly. You just do that all the way around at the four corners. There you go. Oh, it really pulls it down a long way actually. It's supposed to really add to the strength of it. It's also got, as you can see, a buckle on the outside here to stop zip creep. So that's it up. I've tightened everything really down. There's been a wee bit of stretch. I think it is still poly nylon because it's actually taped on the inside, which is good. So there's no need to proof the thing or use sill net on it. And it has had a 24-hour rain test in the back garden and was totally watertight. It was quite a wild night. So far so good. Tonight will be the real test. Like, let's get inside and get some stuff unpacked. The door system is just, it's guy line and toggle, which is okay. I prefer elastic, to be honest. I just feel it's slightly more secure. And then you can see the door is mostly solid, as is the whole inner. And then you have a mesh to match the door zip here. It's also worth mentioning the door itself actually has a rain gutter a la MSR around the top here, which should stop so much rain coming in on it, which is a real bugbear with an assault style tent with no vestibule. There we go. Let's tie that off as well. Again, same thing, just a toggle and guy line. So there you go, you can see the inner access to get into the vestibules on either side. Pull cord circular vents, and then a vent right at the back as well, just to give additional ventilation when it's warmer than normal and just to avoid condensation, or at least cut it down. And then there's a plethora of pockets, which I'll show you once we're inside. It actually has come with about another 4 or 6 guys, I think, which I've left at home spare. You don't come with the pegs, but it comes with extra guys. So you can guy at the very top as well, straight off to the edge of a mountain, if there's no traditional guy line points. Or maybe even if you just want to triple guy it in really extreme winds. It's also got internal bracing points, so you can internally use the guy lines. There has been a lot of thought gone into it and a lot of features, a lot of bells and whistles. Not sure if there's too many, to be honest. But if it's easy enough to use, then it's great to know that it's all there. Not quite on the flat here, I'm not quite sure how much slope. I might actually go diagonally. Yeah, probably slightly more comfortable. Yeah, so that maybe gives you a better idea. You've got your fly separately, web truss here, and then your inner attached there. So they can all work kind of independently of each other, which means you can pitch it together as one, which I just did. Perfect for UK, European wet conditions. I've added that wee drying line to the 4 hooks in the top. There's also a kind of gear pocket come headlamp pocket. And if I flip upside down, you'll see the mesh vent there as well, so it keeps the midges out, and you can seal it from midgie mesh to the inner polyester to the outer fly sheet. So I'll open up one of these vestibule areas for you. This is what you use, this big drawstring circular vent, almost like an emergency exit. So there you go, you can see, you can stash all your gear to the left and right if you were too up or whatever, and you've got just enough room, I would say, to cook under cover. Could be a wee bit iffy. I don't know if I'm going to risk it tonight. I'll try and cook outside if I can. So I don't know if I actually mentioned what the tent is. It's a Stone Glacier Sky Solus 1P. So they sell it as a one person for about $545 before import. And weirdly enough, there's also the same tent by Slingfin called a Slingfin HotBox, which is another $100, but I'm damned if I can see the difference other than a different colour. And they advertise it as a 2-person tent. Confused? I was. It's actually just started to rain, so I'm going to get inside for a minute and then unpack all this stuff. That's better. I can take my time now and get stuff sorted out in either of these vestibules. So food's all in there, and packing poles is in there. Hopefully you can see me in here. That's me, I'm all sorted out. I've got all the gear in various pockets. I've got all the cooking gear in the vestibule to the left, wet rucksack to the right. Probably should have put my boots in there, but my boots are on the left. Anyway, I think the rain might have gone off, so I might open up the tent and go and have a wee look around where we can. It's only, what time is it? It's only 5:10. So plenty of time, not even time to open the wine yet. I'm just going to do some admin, some emails, bits and pieces, and then think about dinner. Got a spooky, misty, dank night now. I'm hoping for clearer skies, that's really why I came up, so that it'd be better filming for you guys. So I've been in here about an hour, and it just turned really claggy. It just started raining and it hasn't really stopped. I was hoping to get out, shoot the moon, shoot some stars, but absolutely nothing doing, so I'm hoping it will tidy up and get clear. If nothing else, it's a good condensation test for the tent. Thank God it's double skin. No sign of any condensation at the moment. So I've been forced back in again actually because of the rain. Also a very cold wind, to be honest. It's nice just to get out of it. A couple of wee observations about the tent. It's interesting. Jumping straight from an MSR Access 1, it's a wee bit noisier in the wind. There's a bit of... It's not that the tent itself is not drum tight, it's just that these big panels tend to move a wee bit, so there's a slight flapping. Nothing major, but just an observation there. Build quality is very good. Although it's a very lightweight tent, all the touch points are very well made, so anything that's under stress or you know, toggles and things, areas where you're going to have a lot of use, a lot of wear and tear, all well done, nicely reinforced. And the other thing is this inner material, it's quite an unusual polyester, this, because it's quite shiny. It's almost like it's got a waterproof coating on it, which is more robust or extreme than the average polyester inner. So it has this slightly wet, shiny look about it. You can probably see it there. So that's, I don't know why, and it's certainly not condensing in any way. It's a crap night. I'm stuck in here. I've got a candle on, but it's there's no sign of condensation at the moment. Taking advantage of a lull in the weather just to get the hot water on for some noodles. We'll have some chicken with sweet and sour sauce. There's been a wee lull. It's gone really cold again. When that cloud clears, the temperature just plummets. Getting into winter camping season. The MSR Advanced Pro, for instance, which I've had previously, every time you open the door, drips straight in onto the end of your sleeping bag and your mat. This one is not dripping. So it's a wee feature that I've always thought should be on them. Dead simple to do, it's just a sewing exercise, but it is working. Sweet and sour sauce. I know it's not cooking from scratch, but it is better than paying a fortune for questionable dehydrated meals. Although I know a lot of you guys out there love them. I do like them when I'm just want to be convenient and save weight, but to be honest, I think they're a lot of money for what you get. And as you know, it's a time of austerity. Nice. Another wee observation for you, this vent design is not brilliant. The reason being, when I came round the back here, water had pooled off here into there and was pushing it down, and it was about to pour down the inner tent. So in actual fact, it would be better if the whole thing came out as an external vent, like the style of the Rab Latox, because it can collapse, but then any water just runs straight down the fly rather than inside the tent. Yeah, the vent design is an issue. Some water came in here when I shook the tent, ended up on the floor here. Wouldn't have happened if the vent was external. Also, when I shook the tent, forgot the candle was in here. Sprayed wax absolutely everywhere, all over my sleeping bag, and I'm just flicking it all off. It's all over the floor. I mean, it will just peel away, it just comes off, but it's stupid. I've now found a way, if I put the toggle through a loop on the inside of the fly sheet and back out, I've now got this much, I can show you better there, much tighter, so this does not, this wall is now held out and I'm much more taut, and the same goes for the other side. I've done the same, so actually that's solved one bugbear I had with these doors. And I've changed the way the vent at the back also drains, so I've kind of pulled it up, and that should stop any water getting in. Right everyone, I am off to my bed. It is really claggy now. There's just clouds coming and going, really damp, just a lot of moisture in the air. Actually the clouds are just, stars are just coming out above me now. But I don't know if you can see anything, it's broken again slightly behind me. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much astro done, and then the rain comes on. So off to my kit, and I'll see you guys in the morning, which I think will be very wet. Morning everybody. A little bit of rain on then. Oh dear. Welcome to Scotland. So guys, I think I'm going to bail out and just get breakfast when I get down there. I'm actually just not that hungry. I don't really need to cook up any breakfast. I didn't really burn an awful lot of calories last night sitting in the tent. So we'll just head down and we'll get a wee coffee and a bacon roll at the bottom. But yeah, I've had a look inside this porch. There's definitely enough room to cook. It would just be handy to peg back the tray ground sheet slightly for a wee bit more safety, but it's doable. A couple of wee niggles with some of the details and the way it's designed. I would prefer, rather than these portholes, just have archway zips. And the vent at the back, I would probably change the design on that slightly. But it was very stable, it was quite quiet, fantastic ventilation options in it, and no condensation. And I was in it for hours and it was claggy. So yeah, really like it. 1.85 kilos, one person, it's absolutely palatial. Two people, you could sleep head to toe and do that as well. So it's quite flexible in that respect, and you can pitch it with a whole variety of different ways, which makes it just more useful all year round. So we'll continue to use this. I hope that first trip out just gives you some idea if you're considering it. It's not a cheap tent, probably going to work out about £700 by the time you import it in the UK. Cheaper if you guys are in the States. But it's still $100 cheaper than the Slingfin HotBox, which appears to be exactly the same tent, so, and no different features. So thanks for watching. I'm off. I'm going to get this tent down and I'm going to go and get a bacon roll and a coffee. See you again soon. Leave no trace as always, and we're off.